excited though.
We're
I was
live.
out cleaning up some plants and stuff, getting ready because those I'll try to sell. Hey, that's us.
And welcome to Proverbs Guys Ministries. Tonight is a fun episode. It is our trash can episode. And what does trash can episode even mean, Dan?
I don't know. I'll let you tell me.
So, a trash can episode was inspired by our brother Achilles. And we're just going to air out some grievances and get some things off of our shoulders. That does not make this open panel a drama panel. We're not going to get into any weeds, but we do just want to kind of throw all the stuff that we're kind of hating right now into the trash.
Everybody can join in, and because just so we stay on topic. That's one thing that you guys love about us. We will go into rabbit trails and into the tall weeds and go off a subject. But yeah, let's stay on tonight. The subject. I don't care if you come on in and go, oh, PG guys is what I want to trash. That's fine. But then we'll go somewhere else. All right. Stay on topic.
That's impossible for us. By the way, that's why we rarely name these episodes anything with a unique title, because where would you start?
Well, we know what I just said, what the title is, and staying on topic, that's for us because as everybody knows and loves, we love engaging with y'all. Hey there, does that sound southern?
Gangster Ghost, how are you?
Just coming in to say hi. How are you guys been?
I am good.
We've been good, man.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I made a picture where Brother Pike met Jesus. Is that weird?
Well, that's our prayer for all of our friends on Facebook that they come to Jesus or came to Jesus.
Yeah.
What about you, Gangster? What do you have going on tonight?
Not so much. Brother Pike was doing stuff. He's just being a Brother Pike.
All right, I hear that. Well, we're doing a trash can episode. We're going to be airing out dirty laundry and throwing away garbage and just getting things off of our shoulders.
Oh, like what? Where's Achilles?
Achilles is the inspiration of this episode. I believe Brother
So I
Achilles
fired him.
has the most trash to throw away.
Well, Yeah, it was crazy earlier. Daniel and Sandman were fighting. It was crazy.
No,
But they're
not too orthodox.
But they're not fighting anymore. They're friends back again.
Oh, good, because it's only supposed to be Protestants. That's what they told me.
But where's the great Achilles? We missed the great Achilles.
I fired him.
Oh.
I was trying to speak up for him, but Dan threatened to also fire me.
I didn't pass. Oh, did you move?
Not yet. In a month.
Where are you moving to?
Well, I'll give you a hint. Y'all, I really love... Go ahead. Where am I moving?
Ice cream?
What? I love ice cream. I don't like buttermilk.
You're moving to Georgia?
You're getting warm.
California?
I'm in California. I'm leaving the once great state of California. I am leaving.
Why are you leaving there?
It is one of the worst states in the union for attacking the common person. They want to give, like right now, I couldn't buy a house, but they were trying to get through the government that they would give an illegal a house. Can you believe that? They would help an illegal person buy a house, but they won't help a guy that's been here for all those years.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good because God, I think, is calling me to a place that'll be nice and warm.
Chicago?
What?
Going to Chicago?
Chicago's not warm, is it?
No. Are you going?
I said you were hot with Georgia.
Atlanta?
That's in Georgia, I think.
Oh, Kansas?
Kansas? Do they talk like this in Kansas, y'all?
No. Mm,
No, I don't think
no.
so either.
Alabama.
Alabama. Why would I go to Alabama?
Uh,
Give him a prize. Gangsta Ghost. You are the winner.
what? Kentucky?
No, they don't
You,
talk like they're in Alabama.
what about Kentucky?
I just asked, why would I go to Alabama? I didn't say I wasn't going there.
Alabama. Is that where Kent lives?
That it is, and that's where my
Yeah.
my wife's family they lives in Alabama.
Are you gonna live with him?
No,
Oh, I can imagine you two living in the same place.
could ya?
Yeah.
We both defend the Bible and preach the gospel.
Gigi, YouTube couldn't handle it if Proverbs Guys Ministries and Dinosaur Adventureland combined it into one ministry. It would
Uh-oh.
create a super Hulk like ministry that was so on fire for God, so filled with the Holy Spirit, that Satan would tremble in his boots. And we
Would
just
be
couldn't do that to him.
Would it be called Dinosaur Guys or Proverb Adventure Land or?
If we took it over, it would be Proverbs Guys, Kent Hovind's Dinosaur Adventureland.
I need to tell you, anyone who should take over Dinosaur Adventure Land, I believe it should be you.
You're wrong. I believe it should be Joseph or Dan, or a
Or you.
combination of Joseph and Dan.
It should be you, Dan, and Joseph.
Dinosaur Adventureland should rightfully be ran by Krista. No one else has the claim to it that she does.
You could be president, he'd be vice president.
Why do you think I married Krista?
think?
Dun dun dun.
It smells like conspiracy theories.
That's what it is, man.
You'd be the president, he'd be the vice president. What's his name? Could be the CEO, Joseph.
I'll be honest with you, Gigi. I don't want to be a president. I'm really happy being a producer and trying to get new shows started and trying to help people with their thumbnails. I love that Dan is.
Well, and you know what, Gigi? Have you ever seen the rodeos?
No.
No, it's where they, kind of try to be like they're ranchers and they tackle cows and rope cows and ride on wild cows and anyway, so there's a guy there, and the most popular person in the rodeo is the rodeo clown, because he distracts all the mean cows to him so that the stupid cowboy can run off and hide and jump over a fence because he's chicken once he got thrown from that big old cow. And so bull. And so the rodeo clown is the bravest person at a rodeo. And so the president of Proverbs Guys is the most popular person in Proverbs Guys ministry, because I get to run around and get all the wild animals chasing me so that the ministry can go forward.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, I heard the Pope's not doing well. What if they decided to choose you to be the new Pope?
Well, first thing is I'd fire all the cardinals. Then secondly, I would sell all the riches and feed the poor people. Thirdly, I would expose all. I'm not exposed literally. Don't get me wrong here, guys. I would show all the documents and where it obviously all the corruption in the Catholic Church had to go straight up to the top. Because if it didn't, I'd fire them all anyway, because they should have known. that they had priests that were being evil, evil people. Everybody would agree here. Anybody that hurts children, and even Jesus, who said, if you hurt a child or somebody's, that's better, you get a millstone around your neck and thrown into the ocean. So, or into the sea. So, even Jesus agrees that it should be stirred up big time.
Yeah.
So, any Catholics here? I will take that position. I will be the Trump Meister of the Catholic Church.
Oh. He's getting rid of all the illegals.
That is good, because that's one reason I have to leave California. The economy's so bad that a person who's lived here all his life, his parents lived here all their lives, their parents, I got to move out of California because they're giving so much money. They were giving so much money away and wasting so much money.
Yeah, they were testing dolphins. What caffeine would happen on dolphins? How it affects dolphins?
Don't you do that with your cat? Because if
Oh.
you do that with your cat, Gigi, they would throw you in jail.
Yeah. The great Achilles.
Hello, Mr. Horse Guy.
How are you today, little guy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I did talk to Sandman about having that show. He said he would contact me on email.
Oh, cool. Gigi is, whoever, no, are you Gigi Horse? The great Achilles horse?
G-Horse.
Yeah.
G-Horse.
Oh.
It's the competition to the GeForce graphics cards.
How are you today,
Nice.
little guy? Had a good day today?
Yeah. Been doing some stuff. While I was doing my stuff, I put your show on so I can listen to something because I was done with news and all that. There were some good discussions there. But then they left you alone. But I couldn't come in because I didn't have a monitor and I didn't have a keyboard. They were connected somewhere else, but I could listen and I knew that you were alone. But I'll join next time.
Thank you. Do you see the talk they had with Sandman in the comments?
No, because I didn't have a monitor on.
Oh.
I was listening to you and the whole a lot of stuff, discussions that were taking place.
It was funny. I made a picture of Brother Pike. There's this app where you can have it where Jesus come up to someone and hug him. Is that weird?
I saw that.
Brother Pike met Jesus.
Well,
Yep.
fellas, this is the trash can episode,
Oh, sorry.
and we said we were going to dedicate it to airing out our grievances and just getting out there what really grinds our gears.
Oh no.
Okay.
And
Can I
Achilles
start?
had a whole lot to start. So, yes, Achilles. All right, we're going to go one at a time. And Achilles, just give us everything on your heart right now. What is grinding your gears?
Everything on my heart, man. That was gonna take a 24-hour stream.
But be aware that it's deceitful.
It's
Not as-
ill. It's
Not as
sick.
hard of flesh.
Exactly. That's when it gets healed. And then you start noticing things. You see people not understanding what the gospel is all about and considering themselves Christians, going around not feeling anything and thinking that the solution to everything is to preach the gospel. That's what it is. While Jesus tells us that they will not know you by how you preach the gospel. They will know you are my disciples if you love one another. I mean, that's in the book that I'm reading. I don't know about some divine translations out there. But I see that a lot, man. I see a lot of people not understanding that the number 2 commandment out of 2 is to love one another as yourself. Like if I fall in sin, I don't need you telling me that Jesus Christ died for my sins. I want you to get in my shoes and understand why, how, and help me get out of there and share the burden. Isn't that in the Bible too? Share the burdens of one another. So until we make it to heaven, we get to be with a lot of people who exist online only to preach what they think the gospel is, not to hear, just to preach. Like, I don't want to bring specific examples, but let's say I am a Catholic. Okay, I'll go on the internet and tell everybody that they're wrong because I'm a Catholic. Now, if they start presenting evidence of where I am wrong, no, I'll just close my eyes. You see, God gave people a brain just so he fills the head. That's all. So I no longer see people online. At least it could be YouTube. I don't know if other places are that toxic when it comes to. I don't mean toxic in the sense that we use it. I mean this kind of toxicity, the Christian hypocrisy. So somebody else believes something. Let's say Calvinism. All right, just bring it as an example. All right, they will never change their minds, no matter what you do, no matter how much you bring to them. They will never change their minds. You're gonna see them next day on the next show, next day on the next show, and that's what they will keep doing. You will show them the verses, they will ignore them, they will go to bed, and they will wake up Calvinists again. So there is some toxicity with atheists that they keep attacking God wherever they can, but I've kind of used to that. It's the Christian hypocrisy that is getting on my nerves, and it's been quite some time. It's not getting any better. I mean, I've never seen somebody saying, you know what, I'm starting to rethink of that. That's all. That's all I'm asking. we had a discussion the other day on the King James here, and we were told that the King James is the only one that goes by the Textus Receptus. So I took them to the Textus Receptus, I showed them the word, and I showed them that it's only the King James that is not going by the Textus Receptus, and every other translation, like 90% of them, go exactly by the Textus Receptus. They ignored that. And they went on and making attack videos on us, that we hate God because we hate their translation. I mean, where does that end? And if it doesn't end, what is the point? Let's call this part A of my rant. Who's next?
All right. Dan, do you want to get it out there? Do you want to throw away some trash? Dan, you are muted.
The muted president.
Dan, the man, is muted. All right. Gigi, do you have some trash for us?
I like that.
Dan, if you're in the comment section, then come in here and throw away some trash for us.
King James Version Plus.
Me first? Oh, wow. What a... Guys, this is our fearless leader, but okay. I'm going to go first.
He's the leader.
So,
All right,
come
Gigi,
on,
good
Gigi.
seeing you.
good seeing you too.
Throw some trash out there and then just run away.
Okay.
Like
Bye.
you're taking a dump someplace and run away from it immediately so they don't see it was you.
Okay. Have a good day, Achilles and Steven and Dan.
All right, brother. Take care.
Bye.
Steven,
Yes.
what's on your heart?
Oh boy. All right. So here is what is on my heart. YouTube is way too toxic. And I don't even know, I don't think it's YouTube's fault, but the communities that are on YouTube are toxic. And they are all so entrenched in their beliefs that they are here for arguments most of the time. I am personally excited about the other platforms that we've been streaming to, and I think that is our future. But the toxicity of YouTubers is something that really just gets to me. They are draining. Like, they absolutely could suck the fun out of a birthday party. They could, man, they could ruin the best stream. It, they are just Debbie Downers. And it gets exhausting. And there are so many different battles to be fought. It's so easy to get spread so thin that you get exhausted. And we've spent all this time now, you, Achilles, me, Dan, so many more that have come and gone and are still with us on these topics. We tell people, hey, you all need to look into your own lives because you all have idols, and they just laugh at us. We warn everybody about idolatry and of nationalism, and we get laughed at. We tell people that God absolutely desires your obedience, and we get called works-based salvation. And we tell people that it is not okay for someone to claim to be saved and continue living in repetitive sin, and we get called works-based salvation. And it just gets to a point where I'm more burned out like you with the believers than the unbelievers, especially the ones that are turning the blood of Christ into a quick cover-all, you know?
Yep. Nothing to add. Just complimenting. And hello, Mr. Rain.
Yo!
Yo. Yo, dog. What up?
What I do, Bruce?
Oh, what's good?
I thought it was a good episode last night, you going back and forth with Pike.
He barely. That's how I like him. He never got a word out.
Hey, we're doing a trash can episode where we are just airing out dirty laundry and throwing away some garbage and telling people what we need to get off our shoulders and what really irritates us. Would you like a round?
Yeah, Achilles and Dan, you guys are both really ugly looking dudes. Like, just saying, man.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Bruce, only rule, we can't name any names or bring up specific things, but we can generalize.
Oh,
when
now you
claim.
say that.
I
They
just
had-
wanted to say it before you went ham.
Okay. Bruce. I do have something to tell you. Don't freak out. It's not as bad as you might expect, but there is something that I said here in the intro of my rant of my current issue with the world that calls themselves Christians. It is not specific. I think actually Stephen can testify to this. Krista can come in and testify to this. Awake can come in to testify to this. Even previously, Shelley can come in and testify to this. I have been saying this from the minute I got here. Christians have lost contact with their heart. They do not understand that the major thing of the gospel is to love one another. Jesus didn't die for us because he thought about it. He died for us because he loves us. And he calls us to do the same to one another. So before I tell you my specific thing that I just want you to think about, I want to congratulate you as well because I'm starting getting on your good side first. Uh, I watched the show yesterday, and very well done, man. And kudos for your patience, because I've lost patience with the Calvinists. I mean, forget that one verse. Read the rest of the Bible, all of it. Like, we get the choice. We need to believe in Him, and then we will be saved. No, I'll go on every other show and talk about Calvinism every day. I mean, it's exhausting. So kudos to your patience. Like, honestly, I'm not lying. And you were patient and calm and brought up what needed to be brought up. And good job.
Thank
Now
you.
here's the kicker. Doesn't relate to that at all. Today on the discussion you had with Terry, you were saying that if I see somebody that is in drugs, or you were having a specific discussion about a specific person, but I don't want to name them. All right?
I don't know.
All right. And you were saying that what I would do is preach him the gospel and get him saved by understanding the gospel. And what you were told from Terry's side is that doesn't always work. We need to get in their shoes and understand why they're doing it. So I want to remind you, and I want you to think about. I would jump in, but I didn't have a monitor and the keyboard. I had them connected to another computer that I was working on, and I was listening. And by the time I was about to jump in, you had connection issues, so I didn't. So the thing is that God told us, Jesus told us, people will know you are my disciples by loving one another. The number 2 commandment is to love one another as yourself, as He loved us. We get verses saying, take up each other's burdens. In the book of Psalms, we read that He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, about God. So I just want you to understand the perspective that Terry was coming from, that yes, you see somebody in the mud. If you go over them, telling them you're in the mud and that's terrible, and you just preach the gospel to them, it ain't helping, because they have a reason for being in the mud. You need to care enough to investigate the reason. And once you find it, the person will immediately start getting better because he received your empathy. And empathy is not sympathy. It's not patting on your back and saying, yeah, I see you're struggling. No, empathy is like struggling with them, feeling it. So once the other person feels that you're feeling them, they know they can trust you. They know that they can open up to you and tell you why they are so angry at God. But the other approach, no, I'll tell you what the Bible says, and you get the anger back and you respond to the anger, is not so effective. And what is our job? Is our job to go to God and say, I preach the gospel to him, I preach the gospel to him too? Or is it to actually save them? Or should we find what it is? And the Bible is telling us what it is. So that, I think, a vast majority of Christians are suffering with. They don't understand it. And I just wanted to come in on Gigi's show and say that. But me coming in would also invite the Aidens and the Claudes What does he say? You don't listen to him and all that, So I didn't have mood for that, nor did I have a monitor and a keyboard. But I just want you to think about that approach, even on that individual. Like, why? Why are they there? And once you find that root, that's when I think Terry said exactly this, that we need to discover the root and not deal with the leaves. Because when somebody gets addicted to drugs or alcohol, there is a root for that. There is a cause. If they notice that you don't care for the cause, let's say somebody builds up a whole family, life, house. He has his wife a queen, and then one day he returns home and finds her with his best friend. He breaks up and then he starts drinking. And you find them drinking and you say, oh, don't drink, that's against the Bible, you're gonna go to hell. The response is, I don't care where I go.
It's not what I said.
No, I'm just saying the approach there is, hey man, what's up? Are you okay? What is going on? And when you get to hear about what his wife did to him, and you say, man, that's terrible, man. Good job for hanging in there. That's what's gonna start opening up their ears, caring for them, caring for what happened. Everybody has a personal story. I'll stop so you just don't feel like cornered. But
Well, yeah, Bruce, share with us your trash. Throw some garbage away, get it off your shoulders. What bothers you?
Nothing right now, man. I got a delicious hot dog in front of me.
guys, I need a minute. I'll be right back.
I'll tell
give
you what bothers
7
me though
minutes.
about Christians.
What?
I want to hear that. So please talk about your hot dog first. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Oh man, a
Yeah,
Chicago
was
style
that-
hot dog with
Was
the
that a
relish, the
pickle?
peppers, pickles, the tomatoes.
Stop. I miss those.
But
I only tried-
was that really an entire pickle on a? Is that what that was?
Sliced in half, maybe a quarter.
we heard
Mustard,
the whole thing. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yep, got mustard.
mustard, ketchup, hot peppers or
Mm-hmm.
mild.
About as hot as I could take.
Oh. Hi, Frank. How you doing? Doing well.
But I was bored, so I see open invite.
Nope. Uh-oh. Did I mute myself? Oh, I did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Welcome,
okay.
Frank.
Tell us
Thank
about
you for
yourself,
having me on.
Frank.
I didn't know it was a job interview.
All right.
Well, Frank, let's see. Since you're
Why are you qualified for this job?
Uh-oh,
Excellent
Bruce.
question, Bruce.
It would be handy if you tell me what kind of job qualifications that I need. Then I will tell you that I have them and just lie about it.
We will be doing the questioning here.
Well, and the fact that you're actually a professional juggler, I'm impressed. That was my question, so you've got the job.
You're a professional juggler?
That's what I guessed, and he said he was all of those things.
Exactly. I'm almost a fan.
All right, you got the job.
There we go. I'm not sure. Let me take a closer look. Were you trying to represent Napoleon Bonaparte or somebody that is long necked and looks like Napoleon?
Oh, are you talking about in the background here? Let me show you.
There we go.
Yeah, so there's
No, we're just a few colonial generals.
a general pain in the butts.
Where's General Lee at?
Oh, he would be in there somewhere. most of us. Well, actually, no. Actually, not anymore. I was gonna say
No.
most of us are Southern, but I think I'm outnumbered now.
You know, I'm Dutch, by the way, but I talk to a lot of Americans, and I love American history. And sometimes I just ask just to screw with them. It's like, where did the Civil War start? And they don't know the answer.
Well, were you under the impression that Americans were intelligent? Because you're gonna be sorely mistaken, sir.
Wasn't it like South Carolina or something?
No,
it's
the whole
Fort Sumter.
nation. The whole nation's been institutionally dumbed down.
It's not my fault.
And I'm from California, so they spent a lot of money to dumb us down.
Yeah, y'all are the sphere of the pinnacle right there.
I think like the less you spend on education, the smarter they are.
Oh my gosh. We homeschool my son, he's 12, and the boy is like way above. They spent, probably by the time I was 12, probably $100,000 or more. And I'm still stupid, man. It's just
The Catholic
way
Church
ahead.
get you, Dan?
Started with that too. So
I'm
Did
back.
you go to Sunday school?
no, not very many. Not in
Oh,
the
he's a good boy.
Catholic. Yeah.
My friend.
No, I was an altar boy though. It was the best place to check out the girls, though. I got to tell you that. And my priest
that is what you want to hear.
and my
That's why you're
priest
not Catholic
liked
anymore,
me.
huh? That ain't really how
And
they
my
roll.
priest didn't like me, and that's the main thing I want to tell you.
Well, yeah, you like girls. That's why he didn't like you.
Ooh.
No,
Bruce.
no, they, my best friend got tagged, and he really liked girls, but they liked him, and what you can do with a little boy, talking them into whatever, it's like that's why Jesus said, "Don't mess with the little kids. You're on the bottom of the or top of the no list."
You never
Anyway,
cuddled with your priest?
never did. Thank you very much. He did show us
Wait
me
a
and
minute.
my friend, and he did show us his Playboy card, which I would kind of like scratch my head and like, what the heck? You're supposed to be a priest. We were little. I didn't know, like, what the heck's a Playboy card anyway. I knew what Playboy was, but yeah, it was messed up.
Bruce, you also started off Catholic, and the fact that you just assumed that about Dan tells me that did happen to you.
That was his confessional.
Bruce,
Not a lot of talk about it.
show me on the Barbie where the priest hurt you.
Ever since the settlement, I really shouldn't talk about it.
I could use a good settlement. I need to go Catholic for a couple years, but I don't think I'm youthful enough anymore.
Steven, you're too old, man. You're not.
Now, if I shave, I look
13
younger
and
than
under.
36.
If you see.
Younger.
I will go full Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, Frank, you better stay out of the Catholic Church, though. You look young.
My man, I don't believe in anything. To be honest, they call it atheism nowadays, but I even denounce atheism.
So you really believe in nothing?
Exactly.
That's
Wow.
perfect. So could
That is honest. Now,
Hardcore, isn't it?
could I
I
ask you a
respect that.
question or two based off of that? I'm fascinated now.
No, you can't.
Oh man. All right.
Yeah,
You want
Steven,
to ask us
that's
some
all.
questions?
All right. What was Achilles just talking about?
I don't know. I wasn't.
Finding common ground and getting on their level.
Right.
That's what we were doing.
Right.
Mhm.
And hello, brother. I wasn't here when you joined in. Cheers.
Frank is Dutch. A brother Achilles, heart of
Oh.
flesh. There, he is from Greece.
Really? Wow.
European brother. I'm from Greece.
Frank, do you have a Catholic background?
Do I? No. Yeah, I do have a Catholic name though, but
Were you raised in the Catholic Church?
no.
Bruce,
Were you
just
raised
told me-
outside a Catholic church?
I was raised outside.
Yeah. There was one in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah, we had. I come from a small community with only three dozen people. We have Roman Catholic Church, we had a Christian church, and a Catholic church.
Uh,
Funny
I got
that
a
they
I got a good friend of mine. His family came from Holland in the
You don't call it
1940s.
Holland.
What's that?
You don't call it Holland. Holland is a providence.
See, I was smart enough to keep my mouth shut because he was really. I mean, I know European geography and all that stuff as good as I know U.S. history. So I was smart enough. It's like, oh, he says he's Danish. What the heck is that? You did
And
say
as-
that, didn't you?
And as a descendant of the Scots, I have no dog in the fight.
No, we have.
Well, I'm a mutt. I'm a pure American, man. My ancestors came from all over the place:
So-
Italy, Poland, Germany, Ireland, Italy.
You're
Yeah.
white.
I'm straight up American, man.
I know. I'm English, Irish,
So-
Scottish, and German. It does not get whiter.
So you do not call it Holland. You call it the Netherlands.
Okay.
Netherlands.
You're
That would
right
have been
about
one of
that.
my guesses if I thought about it.
So
Yeah.
Netherlands.
his family came to the Netherlands in the 1940s, and they were Catholic. And when this man became born again in the gospel of Christ, he's always very passionate about witnessing the gospel to his Catholic family members there. And he had a lot of history about how the area he's from in the Netherlands, about how the history of kind of how the Catholic Church ruled that area. And it wasn't until until the 1900s really where these evangelical Christians kind of had broke away from the Catholic Church and maybe started their own Christian church or non-denominational there. But he has a lot of back history on like where his family had lived and where they're from. But he often stated that if he was from a different part of the Netherlands, like 50 miles away, there's a good chance his parents would have been Protestants instead of Catholic.
Yeah. We used to have when the Netherlands was formed, when we kind of broke free of the French. Belgium used to belong to us, to the Netherlands as well. And there is something called with our history, it's called the statute storm or statue storm, which means that all the Catholic churches were plundered of their statues because they felt that it didn't belong there. Because we were a republic country that should have republic or their own freedom in belief. And Catholic people, they're kind of more strict in their beliefs, right? So the Belgian folks decided to they were more a Catholic than Christian or Protestant. So they decided to be independent of us. And we said, go fuck yourself, and that was it.
Oh,
There was
wow.
a
I didn't know they talked like that back then.
I'm kind of giving a hypothetical.
Frank, give me a second. A technical reason. Bruce, there is echo coming in from your microphone. So can you mute and unmute when you want to talk?
You
Because
may have to leave and come back.
I've heard that before with Bruce. It has to do with his phone. You kicked him out.
I did, but I hope he knows it's in love and he can come back. So,
Ethan is impatient.
I would like
And
to know.
when somebody has to go to fix their mic, he just kicks them out.
Where
Wait.
did he go? Okay. That one wasn't me. So, Frank, you said you're not atheist. Is it kind of because that's become a thing now? Because you said you just don't believe in anything.
Yeah, to be honest, I was not. I was raised in we call it a basic school here, so it is non-religious. When I went to high school, we had religion classes, and we had all sorts of religion, Muslim, you name it. It doesn't really matter. But it was just, I guess, kind of a general teaching thing or whatever. But see, the thing is that I never went to church. I simply don't believe in anything that is the more commonology in what most people believe. And you know what? I'm completely fine with that because I believe in more an alluring mystery that is out there than anything. To be honest, I think that I'm not that depressed to search answers for something that I do not have. I have a channel that covers a lot of true crime, so I know a lot of despair, a lot of what religion surrounding it. Hold on, who is?
Hey,
I
Bruce,
can't.
you still have an echo. Is this do you have YouTube open in the background? If you do, you need to go close that. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
So I have a lot of people that I do a lot of American cases. You know that I'm from the Netherlands. I solved a couple of cases myself as well. I have my own advocating organization. It's called Advocates for
Congratulations.
Perjury. Thank you. So there's a lot of despair there, and I totally get it. Why people that feel the need that they have need to have an understanding to go to certain beliefs. But I'm a pretty logical guy. I do a lot of forensics. I do a lot of IT work. I do a lot of examinations of both actually.
IT
And
work. You're my guy.
yeah, so you know what? I don't necessarily believe in a higher being because I wasn't raised as that. So I don't know what to believe in except that the monks make really good beer.
Can I ask, like, in your mind, with your total lack of theology, and this will be a great answer because I think you'll be genuine. Where do you think life all comes from?
When you're born,
Well, I mean, like the first life, or do you think we've just existed always, the human race?
to be honest, that is not up to me because I wasn't born with that knowledge. So what makes me feel privileged to have that knowledge?
No, he said, what do you think? Like, what is
Well,
your guesstimate?
well, that is what I'm telling him. Exactly that, because I'm not privileged with that knowledge. So why should I seek out that knowledge if I don't have the answer for that?
I can give a response of why. Because one thing we know for sure, there's so much uncertainty on this earth. I don't even know what tomorrow brings, right? My best friend might be the one betraying me. My worst enemy might end up being my best friend. You never know what tomorrow brings. But there is one thing we know for sure. We are going to die. That is the one absolute that everybody knows. There is no avoiding it. Unless you have any tips of how to avoid it, I'll listen. So
But
that's why we get in this uh, thinking at some point in our lives, okay, when that happens, what could be next? So
well,
it's not like you have to, but it happens. People like start wondering, and it goes back to thousands of years. People like, you know, if there was a caveman, they looked at the stars, and they thought those were little fires. They had a fire going on, and they thought those were little fires up there. So there are other places that people light up their fires. So what do you?
wouldn't you need to know what fire is in order to get a grasp the concept of what a little fire is?
I mean, they were gathered around the fire, and they were looking up, and they
Uh,
thought those were our fires too.
That's a logical
So
concept, isn't it?
I'm sorry
That's a logical concept.
that I didn't catch it. I didn't catch what you said. That's a logical concept.
Yeah, it is because when there has been an experiment and it's scientifically proven when they gave monkeys a certain they gave monkeys potatoes from an airplane, and all those potatoes were covered in sand, and one monkey decided to wash it
Yeah, I
off,
know that
and
experiment. Yeah.
and there you go. Then is that religion too?
It is not religion. It is an
And there you go.
experiment.
No,
Why
it's the
is
same
it?
concept.
Wait, there was two islands. Monkeys didn't have visual contact with the two groups, and one of the groups was eating. They kept eating the potatoes in with mud until one of them on one island um, washed it, and immediately all the monkeys on the other island washed it as well. That proves to us that there is some collective consciousness, right, in the monkeys or also in other species.
Is that a religion, though?
Why is it a
Okay.
religion?
No, it's not a religion because
Oh,
it's a
right,
collective memory.
right. You said it was a religion, and I asked why. You said it's a religion.
No, I said it's not a religion. I'm sorry if I misspoke, but I said there is
Okay,
some.
all right. Got confused. The thing is, going back to my point, um, there must be some theory of how we got here or where we're going. You might say, I don't care because I think that's bullshit.
That is the point. Let me interrupt you right there because that is the point why exactly what religion is. Because you're trying to figure out a way while we understand instead of having peace with it. You're trying to figure out a logical explanation while we are here to give you life purpose. I don't work like that because you know what? I'm at peace with myself no matter what happens. See, and
Well,
that is the difference because I know
yeah,
that you're Greek, so there's a lot of Greek mythology well as that. So you are extra fathomable for having your beliefs, but I don't
well,
work like
being proud to be Greek, I will say maybe.
that. It was nothing. I apologize already if I disrespected you, but I figured that since you're a Greek, you have a lot of Greek history, which is fascinating. But I didn't mean to disrespect you in any way.
But which will bring me to say that you have the terms mixed up because the birth of philosophy can be attributed here, and it was not a religion. Let's not go into the mythology of, hey, there is this god who had sex with that god and they gave birth to that god. No, no, no. Let's not go there. That is religion, right?
What did
But
Aristotle say then? Because
but but
thinking,
but
it's
people
thinking about thinking, isn't it?
but people like Aristotle, like Plato, like Socrates, like the pre-Socratic philosophers, they started wondering about things. They started saying there is an essence of things, and that essence is what creates the others. And I don't know, mumbling, but they did it. And that is what philosophy is. The other person comes in and says, no, that is not rational because if that was the case, then that would not be possible. So another theory got formulated. So maybe that's why they became such a big civilization, because they
Well,
cared to find out where they came from, and they weren't just picking up an axe and killing the person next to them. They used the axe to measure the distance that we have from the sun, and they work their minds to understand where they're coming from. I'm just saying that is not religion. Thinking about where you came from or where you're going is not religion.
it is not religion, but they. I fully agree with you. You know,
It's philosophy, right?
it's a
It's philosophy.
philosophy, exactly. But philosophy, it's not necessarily a religion. But some people, their theory doesn't mean. See, we are all separate individuals, right? So Aristotle, Socrates, and all the people that you just named, they have all separate beliefs. And you know what comes from a religion? That is a separate belief in itself because it needs to start somewhere. So, you know, it's fairly easy because modern psychology comes from William Wundt, and he believed in philosophy. And that German guy also believed in philosophy, and
Freud.
Sigmund Freud was a pervert.
no, but William Wundt, he is the first guy that created modern psychology, and he wanted it to make a science. And that is where it stops, because then it's not about thinking anymore. Then it's thinking about other people and thinking what you think that they feel like. Well, that might not necessarily be the truth. You just have an observation and compile it with a bunch of other people, and then you make up your own opinion. That is what psychology is all about.
The psychology again, that is not the right. I don't think that's a term that attributes
It really is.
to what you just said.
It really is.
People getting together and saying, hey, wait a minute, when things when I let go of things, they fall down, therefore there must be a force pulling them down, even if they get it wrong and they say
What
there is this God that is pulling things.
what are you saying that like it is a bunch of multiple people that said that?
That is not psychology, though. The psychology is
Well, yeah,
to
yeah, you have that in philosophy as well. You have followers. You have the mystic
philosophy.
schools in Egypt as well. You have followers,
Philosophy is not psychology.
but you still have a belief. If you have a certain theoretical, if you have a certain hypothetical or theory, then you have certain people that need to believe that in order
Well,
to make
look,
success.
the best and first serious philosopher did not have a belief.
And who's that?
Socrates was asking and pulling out your beliefs out of you and showing you the fallacies in your beliefs. He never formulated his own beliefs.
You
He
know,
kept he kept asking people for theirs, and then he was saying, well, that wouldn't make sense though, because such and such and such. So I'm using him as an example to say that it's not the case of having a formulated opinion and then you get followers, and that's how religion starts.
but Socrates was also jailed and also almost poisoned by a
Yep.
hemlock. You know why? Because
Why?
he had a followers. That's why. And you know what you
No,
call
the
that?
reason he went to I can't find the word, but the reason the state killed him was because he did not believe in the 12 god system, and because children, students, young in age, not children, just young in age, college students, let's say, were listening to him. They were going, finding him, and discussing with him. He was using his opinion of whether God is 12. He didn't believe that he believed in a divinity, but not in the form of 12 gods. So the state used this to say that you are a blasphemer, and you are corrupting the youth against the gods. And that's why they killed him. So religion actually killed philosophy.
Exactly. Because
So
the
don't, so
philosophy
don't
has
get
a different terminology, right?
so don't get the terms united and become one, because they are different things. And today we have arrived to a different position where we did not get taught that God exists. Don't look for it. He's there. If you say no, we're gonna kill you.
Well, and
But
if
we
I
started wondering.
He had a different belief, and
Yeah,
he
well, we started wondering philosophically, where did we come from?
no,
Where are we going?
I think that is kind of the danger to talk about these things, because we do not know the full story. Because just as you said, you just explained that he was talking to minors, and that might have this is give out the wrong impression for indoctrination. Because I'm pretty sure that there were people that were not all thinking in those 12 gods or religion that you just spoke of.
Yeah, but talk to the younger about that. Yeah, the state used this to execute it.
Then you might want to consider that there's another explanation why he got executed.
my theory would be on a different topic. So the human race is the only one that we know of that has the knowledge of its future pending end date. Like we know one day we're going to die. Dogs are not sentient beings. They don't know that. Neither do monkeys, like
Ooh,
we do.
I would be careful on saying that because I can assure you, dogs know when they're gonna die.
They might know when they're dying, but they don't have a
Mhm.
knowledge from a young age that one day inevitably they will end, that they will die. They don't have that
How do you know that?
because we've never observed a case study to show otherwise.
Because there's no case study because we are not dogs.
Yeah, but they do case studies on other species. So my point would be, since we're the only species that we observe that positively knows that we one day will die, that's why we embrace philosophy. And the number one question in philosophy is, what is the purpose of life?
Well, technically, the point of philosophy is thinking about thinking.
Okay.
Not
So
why do
number
we
two,
think the way that we think? So consciousness.
I would say because we have a longing to desire the God of the universe, to discover who he is, and we have that empty feeling inside until we try to fill it, and that's why we chase after vain things.
What do you think that's kind of a leap that you took, don't you think?
No, not at all. Explain.
Because you're directly going after a higher power without even having explanation of why we have a conscience, why we are on Earth without even considering a higher being. Because maybe we have been taught that, and that's
Well,
called
no,
indoctrination.
you said the first point of philosophy is thinking about thinking, and you said, why do you believe that is? And I believe that it is because we were designed in our God's image, and he is a God who thinks, and that's why we're able to observe things like the fact that we're going to die one day, even from a young age. It breaks our hearts. We cry at funerals as children because we know that we've lost a loved one, and one day it's going to be us. That's why so many teens go through suicidal thoughts, because they know death is pending.
And is death necessarily a bad thing?
No, it doesn't have to be. That would depend on your standing with Christ.
Oh, I would be careful on that because I don't agree with that at all.
Oh, why not?
Because we are just sentient beings. We believe that we are entitled to something that makes up all that makes up all of us in that hierarchy. To think that we are the sole individuals in the universe, and that is all fine if that floats your boat, whatever. Because the Bible has been written by human beings and has been written by human beings.
But
The
what?
same with every single religion
But what about the
whatsoever.
scientific data that
Uh,
has helped prove the Bible?
but, there is no scientific religions except sure it might have been people 1,500 years ago, 15,000 years ago that have written part of that journey that they were in. But who says that we are contextualizing the exact same thoughts? That is, don't you think that is kind of arrogant to think that there's no other context than just like that? I mean, back in the day we had kingdoms. Don't you think kingdoms had agendas?
I'll tell you why. Because we have studied the number one theory of how we got here to examine its truth, and that's evolution. And we found so many holes in evolution that it reaffirmed our faith in the Christian God. And no other religion in the world has as much scientific evidence to back its claims up as our Bible. None. And not only that, but we have now found testament after testament, like Noah's Ark. We have found where Noah's Ark is. That is proof that God has the power to judge the world because he made it. We found the Red Sea crossing. It's in the bottom in Egypt. And like we know that this is God's proof that he can deliver his people. So we have reasons to believe that Christ is God.
Is that your reason, or is that everybody else their reason?
No, the thing is that he just gave you a couple of examples where it is not a faith in
And
something that
I'm
some
not
people
denying it.
wrote. Okay, so let me ask though, have you examined it? Like, let's say Noah's Ark has
Uh,
been found. Let's say it has been proven it is Noah's Ark. Doesn't that trouble you?
no, it doesn't, because I'm totally at peace with myself, whatever happens.
Yeah, the thing is that what the Bible is talking about is that after life, there is going to be a judgment, and you can get eternal life, which is to live just as you feel that you are living right now, but forever, or to perish. So don't
Then I
you don't
then
you
I guess then I guess
want
I
it?
need to then I guess I need to perish for not having forcefully believed something while I am at
It's not.
ease with it.
Nobody's trying to force it, though. I mean, at least around here that you are, we're trying to like trick your mind into thinking about it. Like, how did I get here? There are some theories. Let me examine them. Take theory A, it fails. Take theory B, it fails. Take theory C, not only doesn't it not fail, but it also has proof, and we see a system that try to hide them, and then we find those evidence. So let me examine what does that book say, and you read more of it, and it talks about eternal condemnation or eternal life. Isn't that something like you should examine? Uh, when you say I don't care, it feels to me like a lot of people that I've heard that say, you know what, uh, I'll just when I die, I'll see what happens. What if it's too late then? What if like you are
What
in
is
a
wrong with
test?
that?
What if you're in a test and when you the test the bell rings. Dan, I'm going to mute you because there are some echo coming in. Not echo, voices. Um,
Hint, hint. Though
people,
I do want to talk.
yeah, people say I'm not gonna take the exam. I will wait for the final call and then see what happens. Yeah, but you have an empty page to deliver.
Why is
So
there an empty page? Maybe I'm wise enough to be at ease at myself.
Let's try it from a different angle, Achilles. Let's give it to Dan for a minute, and then
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
cycle through.
No, it's just been awesome conversation. I'll actually go to the next room because I am getting some feedback.
next
Or
room
not
we have
feedback. I'm just getting noise.
oh
So, Frank, and this,
physical
I'm just
room
so
in a
happy that
physical room. Okay.
you have stopped by.
You see,
Um,
Frank, he's using headphones. No echo, no other voices coming in.
Fine.
Be
well,
pro,
that's because I've
guys.
got a 12-year-old in the next room.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so Frank, you know the whole thing and a couple points because you said you weren't born knowing about creation or where we came from or something like that. And then but I was thinking because I'm really fascinated with the your forensic because it sounds like it's all forensic stuff since you're doing stuff that's not even you're unless you go to America. I mean, you do that mainly over the internet. um
That's right.
yeah, so there's a great show called Psych in America. I think it's great.
I love Psych.
And the guy can see things, see evidence even over a newscast or something. It's a comedy. You should watch it. You'd like it. Um, and but anyway, so the same principles though um, can be done. So on the study, I mean, we all believe we came from somewhere prior. I mean, not we. That history came from something, and then your cause and effect, and you just have never got into the think of well, what caused say the universe to come in, what caused the galaxies, or what caused life to come into existence. And then and it's fun for me because I like the puzzle part. It's like, well, said coming into biology, life, was it caused by just mindless unguided chemicals, or probably two choices. The other choice is that it was a guided, and a guided process.
Don't
And
you think that's already kind of dangerous, saying a guided process?
no, because I mean, we know as humans, like yourself, you don't come up with your conclusions, and I don't doubt you that you have done some pretty cool stuff, but you don't come on that by an unguided process. So nothing complex that we see, test, redo can be done by unguided processes. It takes an intelligence behind, it takes some kind of mind. And so that's kind of my angle, because I'm a designer, and I try to figure out how things are done, how things come into being, how to recreate it. Like you're doing the same thing with you have to recreate possibilities of what happened. I mean, like, was somebody dead and they had something in their back, stabbing through them? Well, possibility is this a force did that had a mind behind it, or it just, some kind of force made an object go through the air, go through somebody. The guy fell back on something. So even that, a death that you'd be looking in, you got to think, well, was that a mind behind the murder or crime, or did it happen by unguided?
Always happen with guided, because I can assure you guys, every single crime scene that there is, they can be read. And there's a
They can what?
certain they can be read. Every single human being that you guys, I can read all of you, and it's fairly simple. It's the same thing with um and I don't mean that as a disrespect.
Oh, no
Uh,
problem. You're yeah.
but
We all have
but
our own thing.
it is with human beings, or are beings that think they are unpredictable, but they are not. We are all the same, but we have a different logical mindset. That logic works like binary on a computer.
No, so but I mean, there are cases. Let's say like somebody dies in their house. It could have been natural causes. Is there a gas leak? Is that was undirected? It could be directed too, but is something kill that person that was unguided, or was it somebody turned on the gas while the guy was sleeping, drug him to sleep, and then that was a guided? You see what I'm saying? An actual murder rather than just a death that was unguided. I mean, it was, nobody was behind it.
In criminology, you call that organized and non-organized.
Okay, thank you. See, I love information.
So
So in design, it's either in creation thing, it's either designed, it was guided, or it's unguided. So say again what what in crime it's called.
Organized versus unorganized.
Okay. So yeah, so you can see how the so on mine is just going with, okay, unorganized or organized. Was life organized or was it unorganized?
Well, if
Um,
you kill a human being, then I assume that their life is not really organized. But then again, it can be organized, and it can be just a conventional thing where you need to save your own life.
no, exactly, yeah. But again, another
And
example, somebody, dying because they fell off a cliff. Did they trip and fall and not meaning
did they
to,
get pushed?
or did they get pushed? Yeah. And so
Or
that's
did they do it themselves?
exactly. And that would
so
be
let
kind of,
me
yeah.
let me use this example and say that what I hear from our friend Frank is telling you, even if it was a murder or if it wasn't a murder, don't care.
That's not what I'm saying.
If you are saying it for the creation of life.
No, he was giving me an example, and I made the context better on criminology.
Yeah, he was giving you an example of something that investigation is important.
But it has nothing to do with creation.
So you're not talking now about some other person, and we're looking to find whether they got killed or it was a completely random um, chance that it took their life. But we're talking about how life got here, and the same principles can apply. Like, was it a random process?
My
Or
man, I can easily discuss that, because it's all about psychology.
there we go,
For
there we go
example,
again.
if
We're
if
in
you,
philosophy. we're in the field of philosophy right now. You might say it's
It's also
weird,
psychology because
but it's
modern
not
psychology is
psychology.
based upon psychology. I'm just giving you
Psychology
an explanation.
psychology is to analyze who Frank is and say, well, Frank believes that because he's such and such. That would be psychology, right?
Well, psychology, like I said, is also psychology. That is where the psych comes from in the first place.
No, the word comes from the word psyche, psyche in Greek. But as we say, biology, which is everything about life, psychology is everything about the soul. In contrast to biology, biology is about the physical mechanisms. Psychology is about the psych. I don't want to say psychic because the word is being used for something completely different today, but no biological processes. That's why it has that name. It is for the processes that we cannot analyze them in a lab. If we take a knife and cut somebody open, we cannot see their psyche, their psyche, their soul.
That's
So,
not true because you're believing that psychology is a science and it's not.
well, you just made a point, and I showed you that that is where the word is coming from. In
It's
contrast to the word biology. What do you mean it's not? It is a Greek word. It comes from Greece, and
it's not a science.
it is a science, and biology
It's
is a
not.
science, and the reason it has this name is to differentiate itself from biology.
Psychology is not a science.
Well, to be exact on what I'm trying to tell you is that it has nothing to do with the psyche. It has used this word, but psychology doesn't admit that we have a soul. It's just about understanding the mechanisms that make us work outside the physical realm, right?
Well,
Like
and that is
if I hurt you and you become a murderer, was it really you that wanted to be a murderer, or was it me as your dad who molested you when you were a child? That is what psychology is. It has nothing to do with your soul.
you
Religion has to do with the soul.
well you already are giving a differentiation that I do not deny or confirm. So you're already giving a name to an entity that I cannot discuss because I simply do not believe in it. What I do
You
have knowledge about is the human
said,
mind.
but you said you're contradicting yourself. You said you believe in something like psychology, which is a science, but then you threw the word
I
psyche
no.
in
I
there,
didn't.
and I had to
I said it's
differentiate.
not a science.
Psyche slash religion would not be a science. Psychology is a science.
No, it's not.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, before you go, Frank, if you could type your channel in the thing. I love crime stuff, and and especially if I actually met a dude that's doing it. Give a personal connection to some of the show things.
Sure.
Why do you have a channel like that when you don't believe psychology is a science?
Because I can solve cases. I can solve cases by just using my mind. Done it before, and will do it always. And I think that's stronger than your claim on a soul.
So are you like a good investigator or a psychic? I mean, not
What do you think? Why do you think that I'm a psychic? Because I understand human analogy.
so that human analogy that you just mentioned is what we call psychology. Is you're using that in your channel, and I'm
Yep.
trying to make a distinction. I didn't call you in a derogatory. Oh man, I can't even say that word. In a condescending manner, that you are a psychic or something. No, I wanted to make the distinction. Are you an investigator or a psyche? Like a psychic. So I don't know your channel, and I'm trying to find out. You said you're solving cases, and I said, with which method? the method of predicting or understanding human beings or getting dreams about it. That's all I'm trying to understand.
So I need to be a psychic just to understand human behavior.
No, but you need to believe that psychology is a science because you're using it. You are based upon, as Newton said, it's not me. I am based on the shoulders of giants before me.
Because you're using physics as a contradictory
Newton.
statement.
Newton was using physics, but in your case, it is psychology. You're using other investigators in the past, and they gave you experience. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, why do you say that it's not a true science when you're actually using it?
Well, it's not a science because it's called life experience.
So you have a life experience with murderers?
Yeah.
And you're using that for solving cases like you have personally, or you've investigated other cases?
I do missing person cases. I do everything.
I'm sorry?
I do missing person cases. I do literally everything that is a crime.
All right. Okay,
But
then.
see, there's a logic behind behavior. There's not a science behind behavior.
And that is why it received the word psychology from the word logic, right? There is a logic behind actions, and we're trying to understand that logic. So when you use that word and you put the word bio in front of it, we're talking about the logic of everything bio. When you say psychology, the logic of mind, because I don't want to say soul, mind. Although the word is soul, this is a science and it has to do with the logic of the mind.
What is science? Give me the differentiation of science.
To understand, to know, to arrive to conclusions based on the evidence, where the evidence leads. And you said you're an IT. I am too. I'm right now holding a screwdriver and I'm working on a computer as we speak. And there is logic. If I just take the
Technically,
screwdriver and start like shoving it everywhere I can, it ain't gonna work. There is science behind this, right? It's called computer science. If there was a
technically,
Greek word back in the day about it, it would be computerology.
technically, science is a systematic study of structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. See, what I do,
That's what
it
I
is,
said.
but that
I
doesn't
didn't read
mean
it from
that, that
Wikipedia, but that is what I said.
that that doesn't mean that what I am thinking I put on to other people, because that would be a theory. What I do is a fact, and it works.
Okay, but what you are doing is using a scientific method to arrive
By
to
thinking,
a fact.
no,
Yeah, but you're thinking not like out of the blue, like you have
I,
some foundation, previous cases, as you said, very well said earlier, that people think they are unpredictable, but they are actually predictable.
they are
And people
predictable.
like them in the past have done these exact same actions. So you can predict the future actions by what others did in the past. So that is science.
No, it's not a science.
Well, I think maybe it's just translational thing too, because in English, um, psychology. I mean, whatever we're talking about there is the science of mind and behavior, the
Right.
mental. Or so number one definition is related to science, um, but oh yeah, psychology. But that there's probably other ones that is not a not um, a science study, but they're I think that's you guys are probably just talking past each other. The main definition of psychology is the science of mind and behavior. But Frank, you're probably just doing it from a different.
Well, if it has the word logi after it, it is a science.
Sure.
The distinction we made earlier is that he said that it's called psychology because it has to do with the psyche, and the psyche today is we
I
use religion to deal with the psyche, right? But the way the word was created back in the day, it meant everything about the mind slash soul, not spirit.
I have a
And the
book
fact
here in
that it
front of
has
me.
the word logi in it, it means the science of.
I have a
That
book now in front of me, and I'm gonna read you in Dutch what it says. And I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
and
everybody
can
will.
well, you're the one. You're the one that are throwing words, and you're saying what you're saying is not true because that is what the word implies, and I have to explain to you that that's not what the word implies.
well,
Um,
maybe he's using his native language word. So Frank, what's your station? You can your channel.
As let me be frank with you.
Let me be frank with you. Oh, cool.
I thought no, I actually thought he was about to say something, and he said, "Let me be frank with you," and I was like, "I'm listening."
See,
I,
I have this book with me, right? And it's all in
okay, show it on the other side because it was the microphone in front of it, and I didn't see it. The ABCs of no, and
the ABCs of the human mind.
oh, okay.
And what this book says is that people want to believe that psychology is a science because it has a logic to it. And I get your differentiation,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. There's this is a dispute about nature versus nurture, and that is the discussion between a lot of people that are philosophers and a lot of people that believe more in the human mind than what one or two people will have to say that might have a couple of followers just because they agree with that. Because the fact of the matter is
Right.
that it doesn't matter who is wrong or right. If my methods work, then my methods work. If your methods work, then it works for you. That's how it is.
Yeah. Well, look. Let me disagree with the author here. In case if I misunderstood it, is maybe you need to read more because what I heard is that it's not a science and that is wrong. If me and you examine the same criminal and I do not predict what he does next and you do, what does that mean? It means that you followed better some guidelines of understanding of getting in his shoes better than I did. That doesn't mean there is an element of intuition in investigation, there is an element of intuition, but uneducated intuition only creates a good series on TV, like The Psychic. He just comes up with, I know where the murderer is. Oh, hey, well, how did you come up with that? I just saw it in a dream. Okay, that's TV. But the truth is that to arrive to where is the hideout of that criminal that has a girl kidnapped, you need to examine evidence, previous cases, be experienced with it. And this is science. I mean,
No,
and
there's not a
it is science,
science. There's a
psychology is
study.
science, psychiatry is science. They are sciences. Now, they are not being considered as serious today as they should, but they are sciences.
If you consider them sciences, that is fine, but I really disagree.
Well, no, what you're doing is, I guess, science. I haven't watched your channel, but it is psychology is a science. The thing is that you arrived here in a channel where we are dealing with another subject, which is religion. which is we understand how things work in the mind, not like we ace it, but we care for what happens next. And this is where the discussion started. And by denying everything that comes out of my mouth or Stephen's mouth or Dan's mouth, saying, no, that's not true, no, that's not true, no, that's not true, you forced me to correct, no, that is true, and that is true. And we've spent like an hour not talking about the subject that we began with.
Well, I've, to be honest, like I said, I've been very respectful in this entire conversation, and just because you want to feed me something and I fairly disagree, then we disagree. You don't
I
have
didn't,
to
I didn't
convince
try
me.
feeding you because I've been asking and you've been telling me that I don't need to know.
That's not
And
what
that
that's not what I told you.
we asked how we got here, and you said, I don't need to know that because I'm here. I'm like, okay. So then I had to talk about death. And we got into the other side of the spectrum, which is the end, not the beginning, the end. And then you said, I don't remember what you said there. And Stephen and Dan tried to take you back to this original argument, like we are going to die. What happens next?
Oh, we are gonna have to die, but I'm at peace with that. Doesn't mean that I have to believe in something.
You do, though. You might not be accepting, admitting it, but there is no chance that you don't have a thought about what happens next. It could be black, it could be white, it could be
I'm,
divine judgment, it could be not. Like, there is no way that you don't have a thought about it.
I do not, to be honest.
You do not.
No.
Interesting. You might be the only individual I've ever heard of, not just met, that hasn't. Always great to learn new things and meet completely different people.
Thank you.
Now, cool thing, and that's what I love to do on this channel. We are a Christian based Bible believing type of ministry, whatever show. But I
That's
as you
fine.
can see, we love to get other opinions. That's kind of my thing too, like investigative. Like, wow, how to again, people are predictable, but there's a lot of different puzzle pieces, a lot of different. Yeah, each person's a puzzle, though. It's predictable that there is this puzzle piece, but did you actually walk it out? Not the motivation always. Now you're talking more motivational, where predictive. Yeah.
Hold on. What do you mean?
Well, because humans are predictable. Sorry, predictable. I agree with you, but you're saying like from what you do though, it's more the motivation. So and that's why most of the time, and see, I'll ask you the question. So most of the time they'll say, if somebody dies or somebody's murdered, they look to people, husband, wife, the close people. It's very, it's more rare. I've been told that strangers do it. Not that it doesn't happen once in a while, but is that what you're talking about? Is the motivation behind it? It's predictable usually because that's what that's what usually happens.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to say. I was just reaching out to my bully.
No problem.
Okay. I can give you a really easy answer to that. There's something called victimology. There's also something called criminology. So, the fact of the matter is that, human behavior is predictable. And why I'm saying that is when somebody, for example, gets shot in the face, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? That could mean that Mugger could have done it or anybody else. But when somebody gets shot 3 times in the face, logic would dictate that that individual already had a conscious mind to shoot that individual 3 times in the face. So what would that tell you? You would look more into a rational circle of family members and ex, because somebody took the time to shoot that individual 3 times in the face. So that is the entire logic behind it. When you have an individual that would shoot somebody in the back, that would mean that they have it's less distant thing. So what does that mean? Either that person didn't want any confrontation, or it's business. Because people want business. They don't give a rat's ass on who you are, and that is the logic behind it. I know, and I fully agree with you guys. It is kind of this. You kind of need to have a spew for it. You kind of need to have a knowledge for it. So fair enough. If you guys want to believe that it is a science, sure, whatever. But it works for me, and
Right.
I I have a different understanding as, for example, those stories that are being told by the FBI, because those are general, and I don't believe in that crap. I do my own thing, and that is how I find victims, by using my own niche, my own little bubble that I created, by having an understanding on all these criminal cases and implementing them to find people. So it's not a science. It is it is, well, I guess fair enough. It is a belief to me, because I believe that I understand human beings that much that I am able to predict in a certain context on how they behave.
I think here it's not a belief. I think it is intuition, and every good investigator needs to step out of the norms and be intuitive, because not every crime is like the previous one. Yes, there are common grounds, but intuition is necessary.
True,
So,
but there's, like I said, there's a logic behind it.
of course, and that part is science, but the other part
Uh,
is the science of
you know,
intuition.
you know what?
Like,
Let's rule all of that out and call it reasonable deduction.
good, I'm fine with that. And that is the method that this channel here has used to arrive to the fact that somebody made me. I know you're going to say, as you said at the beginning, your mom made you and your dad.
No,
Uh,
I was being more sarcastic on that.
but it was true. It's a good point. Yeah. But we're talking about in the more general, mindset, like who made those, and before and before and before, what was then? What happened then? So
You know,
look,
what?
my brother Frank, I enjoy this discussion a lot. Here is how it narrows down, not our discussion, but our point, the point of this channel here. Um, Either things got created by a designer, or they were brought to existence by a lot of random coincidences and mutations, and the whole thing starts by that big bang, and it ends up to planets, and then it ends up to this planet having a bacterium which turned out to become something more, and blah 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 blah, and in millions of years we are here. Do you have a third alternative? Because for me those are the two
You
alternatives.
you were asking me questions, my man, that I do not have an answer to, and you're trying to force them out of me while we are talking about you.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to. So what Socrates was doing, it was not forcing his belief, whatever that was. He was asking, and the method was called nursing, because it was. This is the official term of Socrates' methodology. It's called nursing, and it is
brother,
like,
let me tell you right away that stuff that you're now going to tell doesn't have any influence or effect on what we were trying to discuss, because you were trying to explain me. You were trying to have me get an answer that I do not have. So
right.
that is where it stops.
I'm not. I didn't think that you have the answer. I'm trying to nurse it out of you, like the nurse takes the baby out of a woman. That there must be some one of the two, unless you believe like we are in the Matrix. So that would be a third alternative, I guess.
You are trying to fill in thoughts and words for me that I do not have. And like I said, that is where it stops because I simply do not believe in that. The reason why I do not believe in that is because it did not work for me. Sure, I had my thoughts on that, but I
That's what
cannot
I'm
see.
asking. I'm not. Don't accuse me of being malevolent in trying to get.
I'm not saying that you're
I'm just asking.
malevolent.
I'm just asking. What is your thoughts on how we got here? That's all. This is how we arrived to this
I didn't
truth.
and I told you from the beginning that I do not have an answer for that.
But you just admitted that you might have a thought. What is that thought?
Sure, I had a thought on why we were here, and it did not work for me because I did not understand that logic. So if that logic did not compel to me, and apparently it did to you, then kudos on you.
Okay. So um, did you do the deductive reasoning to it? Did you apply the same logic that you would apply to anything else?
No,
Like,
because I care more about living human beings than me believing in something that I cannot explain.
so you said you believe in human being. That's what I heard. I'm sorry if I misunderstood.
You're right.
Okay, so you're saying that we have the power. We have some power, right?
I did not say that.
Oh, that is what humanism claims, that we have the power. There is no God. It's just us, and we are all powerful, but we haven't woken up yet. I don't know. So I'm not saying you said that, but if you did say that, because you said I did, that humans are the power, then that's humanism, and that's what it says. So
No, I said that I believe more in humans and how predictable they are than believing for myself to reach out to the sky and believe that something is there, and I simply do not. Because I do not understand, and I'm saying I with emphasis, is not that anybody should believe me, but I am fine with not believing that there is no entity to save me because I am at peace with myself with interest on what I am doing.
yeah, okay. I have things that I do too, but they will never answer what happens when I go.
And that is why we are different.
Okay, I
No,
guess
that
it might be a cultural difference, huh?
well, I think it's person 'cause I know people like that
No,
too.
I think it is that I'm Greek and he is from the Netherlands.
Well, I don't think it's a cultural thing. I just think it's a personal belief, and I don't know why you're being hostile on my nation directly
Because you
because it's
started
a
it.
personal belief.
It's in all good humor, but it might be a cultural thing because you did say that maybe it's because you're Greek that you had those thoughts. I don't know.
I I didn't say that at all.
You said that in the beginning, and we laughed about it. I took it as a joke, and it was
No,
a
I
joke,
said because you are Greek, because
right?
it's kind of terminology that you have a lot of history there. I learned a bit about it as well at school, so it wouldn't. The logical reasoning would be is that you have more understanding that apparently that I do, and that is fine. It doesn't mean
So
that you're a bad person.
right, right. So the thing is that philosophy was just applying logic to things that we can't touch, thoughts, and applying logic to them and see if they stand up to the logic. So deductive reasoning on thinking, right? So they did that, and we keep doing it because there was a beginning and there was an end. There is an end. I understand you saying, I don't care for the beginning, I don't care for the end, I care for what is right now. I get that, but you did admit that you do have a
And
thought.
no, like I said, you're already trying to think for me.
You said it yourself. I did have a thought, and it didn't work out for me. You said, and if it works out for you, then it's good for you. right?
I
That's
mean,
it. That's
exactly.
basically
Then
what you said.
and there's no more point to discuss, right? Because if you if you want to believe in anything, I don't care if you believe in a pig or a cow or a llama. As long as you are you, if you are happy, then there's nothing to differentiate each other, right? But you said directly after that it must be a cultural thing. Well, brother, we live both in Europe. I don't think there's much a cultural thing. It is just the thing is that I am at peace with myself for not believing anything. And I think that I am fine with that. And you're trying to put words in my mouth and trying to think for me, let alone say things
No,
for me.
I'm trying. I'm
That
trying to get a
you did,
thought. I'm
you
trying to
did.
get a thought
And you
out of.
keep, brother, you keep doing that over and over again.
I'm
And I'm
trying to get
saying
a
it is
thought.
pointless because it's not going to work.
Well, look. If I came in your channel and I didn't want to talk about criminology and wanted to talk about flowers, you would tell me that's not the right channel. So this channel here has to do with discussing these types of things. It's not like I woke up today and I said I'll find a victim today to force my beliefs upon them.
Okay. Well, be fair. I think he came into the channel and goes, "What are you guys about?" Um, but
Okay, I wasn't here. I was at my dog's.
oh, that's
Okay,
right.
I
You're up.
missed that.
Frank, yeah. Where did you? Did we just pop
Just
up on?
random. Yeah, just random.
Yeah, just popped up on the list. No,
All
and
right.
okay, yeah. So yeah, Frank didn't know what we're about, and that's why I kind of
Oh,
got on.
that's fine.
We
Yeah,
didn't do an introduction, did we?
no, we were just having fun, and we were just having a fun one today, though. It's just like, what do you want to throw in in the trash can? What is bugging you in life? Da da da. You came in. I actually like that because I didn't set up the show. I'd rather figure out somebody new and and not figure them out, but I mean have a conversation now. So both of you guys, are like early in AM, aren't you?
That's
Yes,
2 a.m.
yes. I am at 3. He should be at 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yep,
You guys are in the same time zone.
yep. One apart.
Very cool.
So Frank, this channel here is we are all people who didn't take religion seriously in our lives. Like we had our lives and we didn't care about religion at all. And at some point, something happened and it blew us apart, not psychologically necessarily, but completely changed our lives, transformed us. And we started looking what happened, and we looked around and we discovered that there is this book that says that that's exactly what is going to happen to you once you get a new life from above. So we started reading more. We saw the world around us and we saw that this is not working. Something's not working. They're telling me that I gotta save this world, but the methods that they're using are doing more damage to the world. So there are so many things that we are here discussing as frequently as we can concerning um, are we alone? Did we come from an ape? So this is what we do, just as
I
an
get it.
intro to this channel.
No, see, I totally get it, and I respect that. But see, it's not that I'm disrespecting anything because I like to debate this stuff as well. But I am just saying is that what I currently it is not necessarily belief because it's a void, and I am at peace with myself. So if that peace means that that needs to be my religion, then sure, then let that peace be my religion
And
because
that,
I
it
like,
works for me.
cool, yeah.
no,
You
it's
guys,
not a religion though, because you're not like admitting to some.
Brother, you are
Uh,
trying to start a discussion for what my well-being is, and that is
no, no, no,
unfair
no, no,
because
no,
you
no, no,
don't have.
no.
Now
No,
listen,
this is for you. This is for you.
it
It is,
doesn't need to be for me because I am already at peace with myself,
and I'm
and
saying,
I
and
need
I'm
you
saying,
to understand that, and I need you. No, listen, I need you to understand that is there's no arguing if I am fine with myself. There is no arguing because you can say whatever you want. But if dude, I can have any discussion with you what you want. Fair.
Yeah, we can talk
But
about
you
the
cannot
computer
feel
I'm building, but I don't see a point in it in talking
no,
about like
but
computer.
you do not see a point in it. And seeing that's the differentiation is because you had an epiphany doesn't mean that I have to because I am at peace with myself. And see, and that's the toxic relationship with what everyone who is discussing religion is all about, is because nobody has the contextual meaning that it all is the same. Everybody reads things differently, everybody understands things differently. And that is the beauty of psychology. That's the beauty of
And all of them are going to die.
well, fair enough. Then let me dive.
Yeah.
They
We're
will
gonna
all
get right
die.
now.
And this is why we're making the argument because
And
there is going to be an end. We want to get people to think about the beginning and the end, and focus a little more on should I do something about it before it comes? Like, is there something I should do? Just put it in your head. That's all I'm trying.
why are you worried for me? I mean,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not worried about myself. I mean, you seem more worried about me than I am for myself.
I am. I actually am. I actually am, brother. Just because, like, there is this little girl in the middle of the road, and there is a bus heading her way, and I'm shouting to her, "Get out of the road!" And she's like, "I'm fine here." She doesn't understand that she has a big problem ahead, and I'm worried more than that little girl.
And I think you need to be worried more about yourself than anybody else because you know what I do. I'm perfectly fine at, and I help people actually solve crimes. So I'm not sure like the weight in religion that you have, but I'm pretty sure that I have the higher ground. I am
Well,
just
now,
I
saying.
wasn't even looking at it from a higher ground perspective at all. I'm just saying that because I did worry for myself, I came to think about things like that. And when others are telling me that no, it doesn't even cross my mind, they feel like that little girl in the middle of the road. That's all. So it comes
That
from
is your purview, though.
it
That's like
comes from
from
a position of caring. That's all. That's
uh,
admit that it's not that I'm trying to force something down your throat. It's just that I do care, like genuinely. That's why I do the argument, the discussion.
thank you. Thank you
yeah,
for
and that's
doing
cool. And then so with the and that's it. It's just the because is especially I love the fact of solving puzzles, and that's actually what you do. Um,
Right.
and that's let's be frank. Now is that a YouTube station?
that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And so yeah, and that's what I love those shows, because it is a way of solving, it's the big kid puzzle, the big kid maze to figure out. And that's what Christianity is. If you get bored of live cases, there was a book by Lee Strobel, who was an investigator. He was more of a writer for crime type stuff. And he's like, his wife actually started believing in Jesus, and he was getting mad, and he was going to go prove it with his criminology, with his, deductive reasoning to prove that it's all a bunch of garbage, just written by man, da da da. And through a few years, it's like, oh my gosh. And he just was doing the, Frank left. Anyway, for anybody else that, investigate the claims to see if you're, you know, on that road with a truck coming by. And Achilles, that was
Yep.
fun. I think it would have been more fun to you if you knew he didn't have any clue.
I actually didn't. That was a way, and I come back and I find somebody online, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what that's about. I didn't know he just stumbled upon the channel.
Yeah, that's why I could see you getting frustrated and it's like, oh, wait a minute, Achilles. He had no clue. he was coming into the lion's den.
Right. I'm like, you're here. What do you mean why I'm doing this? I mean, you got here, right?
So it must have just been the analog or whatever they call that computer guy. The YouTube analog that just showed.
Oh, oh, come on. Algorithm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was sounding so smart to myself. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you didn't have the word, but others that do, they don't even understand what it means. So it's
well, in
better.
my brain, it was meaning what the word you said, so it was all cool. But that was to me that was really fun because again, we believe that God will draw somebody, and it sounded like he was having a nice time, whatever he was doing. Seemed like he was at peace. But it might be just because it's 3 a.m. But when
I do think that our discussion hopefully is going to put him in some thinking because he arrived to a place where answer questions got formulated and he didn't have the answers to. So when that happens to a brain or a soul, normally it sits down and says, wait a minute, what is the answer? Maybe that will happen. So I hope it does because nobody arrived here because our mom told us to be Christians. We just started thinking and we put the math down. And when we did, God noticed that we're trying and he assisted. And we are now in a position that we're off the road and we're trying to shout, get out of the road, guys. I understand this approach that it comes from the perspective like, here's the hidden arrow that he was throwing. You guys are Christians, so you are happy. I am happy already. That is a straw man against religion, that we choose religion so we don't see the ugliness of the world. Perspectives like that don't see that because we see the ugliness of the world, we understand that there is a higher game being played here.
Well, exactly, and in our thing then too, which I was interested in, is that to do missing persons, something like that, crime solving when you're not on site, not being able to talk to people, not do that. It's like we believe in the novel prediction that there's spiritual forces out there. Is he being led by a spiritual force? Is he getting that? That's where and unfortunately I'm not.
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. That I looked at his channel because I'm interested, and I thought he said let's be frank, but I'm not seeing it.
I think he said, let me be frank. Let me be frank. Look that up. So to anyone that is into that business and they're trying to solve crimes, I would ask them to look into our governments a little more. Because investigators are not looking into the governments because they are getting paid by the governments. So that is necessary when people go where they shouldn't and they vanish and all that stuff. Every government is guilty of it. Dan, I don't know if you're talking, but I can't hear you.
No, I was looking up the "Let Me Be Frank" thing. I'll have to go back and because it's not popping up. Because that I'm always interested in, not always, but crime thing. That's always my mom would always watch the crime scene investigation thing, the NCI, anything like that. She would, and so when I was taking care of her, I'd a lot of those type of shows. And no, it'd be just fun to see somebody that I've actually met, even though it's just a YouTube meeting. Well, let's get out of here. It's been 2 hours. This has been fun. Um,
Hello, everybody in the chat. I just checked the chat because
oh,
I was standing working on my computer and talking and was too focused to look in the chat. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Chuck. Hello,
yeah.
Barbara. Okay. Okay, here it is. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Let me be frank with you. Want me to look it up for you?
Oh, did you find it?
No, but if I look it up,
Oh, yeah.
with
Let's see if you find it.
the assistance of Barbara, I
Oh,
might have a chance.
Chuck, how's it going? I too was yeah, I was actually just trying
Yeah,
to
found him.
so I missed the chat while I was
I found him, and thank you, Barbara. So I'm putting this in the private chat.
or you can put it on the main chat so everybody can
Oh, okay.
go we can advertise our guest. He
Yep.
was I mean, to me that's like so many of our friends even in this community who are atheist, that they can be engaging, they can be just like, point to point, not go crazy. One of my trash can things is, that staying on topic, and then just because we're around all the time, so you don't have to go back to beat a dead horse someplace. We will get back to whatever conversation. So this was fun, and again, I'll be sparse. I've been sparse as getting ready for a move, and so I've been telling that Peel, but it's like we're hoping 30 days off. So
Where are you going?
um
You'll tell me backstage. Don't tell me
oh,
public.
I've already let it out. We're moving out of California, and I told Gigi, so you were out there then. I just then I'll just tell you, y'all there in Greece, we're just love you so much.
Let me. Bruce, yes, he did. But I think most of the issue, he did have this. I don't need to know anything. I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm myself. I'm all that's necessary. I see what you're saying, but I think also he's hiding from those thoughts. He's like, nope, they're not there. You know. So it's okay. Interesting. I hope the girl on the road analogy puts him in some.
Well, that, and I also believe with him that humans are predictable, and once somebody says they don't care, I can get okay, he's got so much focus on whatever he's doing, but you're gonna sit back one time because we are sentient beings, and we're gonna say, "Wow, is the cause of me being here guided or unguided?" And he said, what did he say with a crime would be directed or undirected? And I think that's what he said. Anyway,
And the thing is that because God loves us, if we are in this hibernation that we have been so looking for the right word, absorbed by life and what we do, that we never look beyond where our arm reaches.
well,
God,
and true,
God
but
brings us situations to wake us up from that hibernation, because I know it can get addictive. Like others get addicted to a career of, personal example from the things I've battled in the past. People are so focused on their career with riding dirt bikes, like they don't see in front of them. They don't see that their wife needs a weekend off, and they're like, yeah, but I gotta practice. I have a race. Blah, 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 blah. So at some point, God wakes you up, and that is where preterists get it wrong. But I don't want to get into that for the
No,
night.
that can go into the trash bin. But did you put that up there? I don't see the link to
I
his.
put it out there. I put it out there.
Oh, you were talking to Barbara. I did not see that. And let me be frank. Oh, who's Barbara Waddell?
I don't know, but thank her because she found the channel for us.
Oh, let me be frank
I
with
only know
you.
Barbara Streisand and Barbara Bush and Santa Barbara. I know that one too.
Oh,
The
I
rest,
didn't say hi to Barbara because I did not see that comment. It must be higher on up, and I have a horrible time scrolling the YouTube thing. So yeah, and that was really cool. But also though, it seemed like he was in peace because he was either drinking or something. I don't know. I'm not good at that, but I'm starting to investigate more. But again, when somebody tells me they have no worries, I'm at peace, I want to go deeper because so many people I know that say they're in peace, they're just hiding, they're suppressing.
right?
Again, where he lived, if he lived in the streets of Jerusalem AD, right at the AD when the Romans were rolling and Jews were were considered trash. If Frank lived in Nazi Germany or even pre-Nazi Germany through the Depression and the starving, the suppression that the rest of Europe did to Germany after World War One, to kind of suppress them and get back at them for World War One. Would he still be at that peaceful place he's in? So there's a lot of questions. He does this crime scene investigation stuff. Does he believe it's evil? If somebody pushes somebody over a cliff, was that an act of, and it was an intentional, what did he say? If it's in the back, it's because you're just doing business, you're just taking somebody out. If you shoot somebody in the back, is that an evil, or is that is it moral, immoral, amoral? And so those are the fun questions to ask people because, like him, he's into crime, and you and me, we're into the heart, investigating the heart. And with the novel predictions that the Bible tells us about. And so it's just all fun. But we're over a couple hours now, and I know you should be getting to bed. And actually, I was going to shut it down, but then I saw Chuck out there. I didn't say hi to him. Joseph, that was a great question about the machine thing. Sorry, I didn't see. Oh yeah, a question for Frank. Too late. Sorry. Are you the ghost in the machine, or are you the machine? That's getting heavy, Joseph. That's what I like about you.
Why are you pushing thoughts down his throat? Huh? Why? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, and that's what and then that's he started to leave when we got talking into more like that because and it was fun because he stumbled on it and he did great. And I could tell you were getting a little annoyed thinking he was coming into a Christian channel. I was like, whoa, 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 Hart, because I know you're caring for his soul, for his heart. You had a heart of stone, and God turned it into a heart of flesh of love for somebody or for your fellow man. So that's really cool. And Frank, if you're out there, you're welcome back anytime. Check
You're
out.
welcome. You are welcome back. And next time he will know, because right now I can see why he was so defensive. Because
Yeah, yeah.
he
That's
came
why
in, he didn't know where he's coming in, and we started bombarding him with existential questions. And he's like, "Why? Why? Why are you doing this to me? I was fine, you know. I get it, but next time he visits, he will know where he's coming in. He might have like some thoughts he wants to discuss, and he will come in a different mentality. It's not."
well, which is fine. And that's why think, and I hope we're as a ministry, that's what we want to do. We're not, and again, not just the throwing mud stuff that we get so much, and then we want to throw it back, but just somebody that has honest questions. I had no problem me knowing that he didn't know the channel, that, no problem with that. But I did have the questions of, well, what do you believe of this? Well, what do you think of this?
Right.
And I was being not a crime scene investigator, but a psychology investigator, a human heart and brain investigator.
And here's
Uh,
here's why I
Thank
got.
you, Joseph. Well, Joseph corrected me. That Lee Strobel was an investigative journalist. Um,
And
that
here's why I got so stuck with the way he used the word psychology, and he said psyche, because what we do here has to do with the soul. Psychology has to do with the mind. Religion has to do with the soul. The way the word psychology was created, it was not according to the word psyche that we know it today. It was according to the word psyche that existed back then, and it meant everything but biology, psychology, right? But now we have a distinct word, which is the soul, and that is psyche. It's the soul. So, and then he said it's not a science, which is completely like ruined my whole trying to get him back to let's talk about the soul,
No,
Anyway,
exactly. And then let me add this before I go, because then I'm going to take off. This was going to be an hour show for me again. I
it
get sucked.
always is for us.
I guess. Oh well. Frank just made my night, because I wasn't really caring about the topic we had.
No, to be honest, he nailed it. I am Greek, and I love philosophizing existence. It's my thing. I won't mind it.
Now, and so here we are, and just because he was such a good sport, I have not. Disclaimer:
Oh,
I have never seen one of these shows. Hello, Mr. Wayne. I have not previewed one of his shows, but yeah, we can go check it out. Let's see. I didn't even look at anything about it.
I think that's
Guys,
why, Bruce. I think that's why Stephen went to bed early.
What else is new?
well, he said he was only going to hang around an hour, then take off. To be fair,
He said that when I was at my dog's, I guess, because I didn't hear it.
oh, that was backstage.
I didn't hear it. I thought we would do this together.
Well, he did his thing. I thought it was going to be a short show, just with trying to say what we want to do, what are things we want to trash, and not try, hopefully not to get into it. But Frank stuff, he's got dad jokes with a guest. That sounds like it's off of the crime thing. Motions hearing boyfriend cop murder trial, denied Idaho. Somebody, yeah, sounds like some interesting shows. I think anyway, sorry, I'm not here to advertise other people's shows, but he was a very good sport. So even
Right.
if he turns out to be a mass murderer himself, there's his show.
You know what I got too, man? He's never really been exposed to any sort of faith-like influence. Like he just
Yes.
grew up in the world,
Right.
He
Right.
definitely did not have a clear understanding on who God is and the deity of Christ by any means. It's just
No,
a worldly perspective.
We didn't make it there like today, because he was rejecting it as being a faithful belief in what some men wrote.
defining it as he goes along.
right? And
Well, I
yeah,
think
we were trying to get to like, okay, let's leave the fact that people wrote that. Do you understand where you came from? Do you understand where you're going? So, we went to the basics.
and Bruce, do you think that was kind of like a God thing, even because he didn't even know. I don't know if yeah, you were here, Bruce. He was like, so what are you guys about? What's your show about? What's your channel? I mean, whatever he said, it was like, you know, and that's where again, wow, what a coincidence. We're here to tell people about Jesus, and somebody came in that is raised in a place that is pretty in figures of like moral, amoral, immoral, they're awe Jesus. They're like, whatever. They're not um the Europe that he lives in is not a religious place. And unfortunately, they don't have the freedom to actually investigate themselves. And Bruce, you agree? Even though we were raised in Christ and Catholicism, to me it wasn't. And then the people I knew, it was a thing they did. It wasn't. It wasn't like really a serious. Wow, God this, God that, Jesus. Wow, it was like okay, we did our church thing. Now we'll go do our drink thing, or now we'll go
Back
steal.
to the world.
Yes, and so yeah, that was totally cool. So yeah, and I was only going to stay on an hour too.
I
And
do
Akil,
remember when Christ was brought up. As always, change the subject. I noticed that we didn't stay on that. Well, I mean, he didn't either.
Yeah,
But
it was very hard because he was denying like everything and accusing like we're trying to shove it down his throat.
yeah,
yeah, and
So
what else
and
is new with atheists? Oh, you're trying to make me believe what you
well,
do.
I
and
would I'd give him a little leeway because Achilles, you were coming at it like he knew what we were talking about, and he was blindsided. He just got I guess just an one of the
it's okay. It's okay.
announcements, and so
It's all,
it was
at
a
least
great.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
I
I
always
just
try to
thought.
remember. Sorry, Dan. My turn.
Yeah, I just thought it was a great way that, somebody was able at least to be on a show and then have people that are, we're not, beating him up. We're just like, this is what we believe. This is the show, and then once you figured out he didn't know, he was clueless, then you really changed though, Achilles, because you thought that the guy was just being a jerk, but he was just
Right. I didn't know. I didn't know.
yeah. And then
And
your demeanor. So I think he left with I think like, oh, well, that if and when he does want to dig deeper, he's got some place to go. He's got people that, I think we treated him well. And that he then
and
if the
here's
Holy
the
Spirit.
and here's the thing, Frank, if you're listening, as Stephen said at the beginning, one of those two theories is full of holes. So not only did we discover the holes, but we dig deeper and we found more holes. And the whole theory that we got here by random chance is like a Swiss cheese. It's full of holes. So then there is only one alternative. That is what you said we should be doing when we are looking for crime, deductive reasoning. By deducting and getting that theory out of the way, we have another theory, which is another alternative, which is somebody put us here. Who is that somebody? What does he want from us? That's it. That's how we arrived here. And I hope you do as well. That's right. Just a number. Yeah, Joseph, he didn't know what this channel is about. And I was away when he asked. And then I got back and I just thought it is some person that knows where he got. And maybe it went too rough on him. I don't know. But I gave him the introduction at the conclusion.
At least he didn't come in saying that Mary appeared to him and told him to go to the Orthodox church.
Yeah, I prefer this type of, you know, that is what should be called an agnostic. It's, I don't know, I don't care to know. And he said at the beginning that I'm not even an atheist. I'm not saying I'm an atheist. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. You know, that's the agnostic. It's the, I don't care. Why are you bothering me with this? My day was fine. I'll take
I'm
that.
intelligent enough to be at peace with myself.
Doesn't that imply that you guys are dumb for believing in
Or
Jesus?
prideful.
Right. Doesn't that, like, isn't that a hidden arrow? Like, I'm not like you believing in what men wrote. That's why I get not angry, just hot-blooded, let's say.
Hot-blooded, check it and see.
All right. If you guys have anything else to add,
Cause
no.
I'm hot-blooded, check it and see. I got a fever of 103.